Hi guys, this is Anna from Anna and Ivy, and obviously also from January Bloom. So I'm very excited to show you our very first January Bloom collection, animated collection, since we already have like watercolor, clip art collections and illustrations in the January Bloom shop. But now I started to animate each of the watercolor collections. So this is the first one and I'm super excited to show it to you. I hope you like it, because it was a huge amount of work to animate this stuff. So I want to show you how you create an Instagram story. But in this case specifically an Instagram story invitation, or more often digital invitation, for example for a wedding or for a birthday or for anniversaries kind of party, or maybe also greeting cards, digital greeting cards for festive season or whatever you like. So it's a very it's a huge variety you can create with this. So as always, we will start with an Instagram story Photoshop file. This is the size, as always, for Instagram stories. Of course, you can use these elements in your videos or whatever, but I will show you how to use it for an Instagram story. Here we go. So let's crop this. Short overview. We have the alphabet foliage, so these are the animations. Then we have the ready-made breath. I simply don't know how to pronounce this. Breath. As you can see, they are already animated, but you can create your own breaths. You don't need to use these, but I pre-made some of them for you. Then we have golden dots or sparkles. Then we have these geometric frames, which are also inside the collection separately. Then we have 3 of them with a white background. Then we have the frames in glossy versions, so you can see like this gloss is going over this frame. And we have the same frames in a not glossy version, because sometimes this can be some kind of disturbing when you have too much going on in your document. Then we have ready-made watercolor backgrounds, especially made for stories, but if you want to use it for your video, simply flip it 90 degrees to the right or to the left, and you will have the size for your video. Then we have the most exciting thing, the animated elements. So as you can see, these are the watercolor elements, which are also available as static images in the other collection you can find in the shop, but this one is only animated. So they move slightly and they are moving like with the wind. And we have all these watercolor elements, and it's some kind of a pop-up situation. So for the breaths, they pop up like from 0 to 100. Here we go. So you can create like your own compositions. Then we have the same with the line arts. These are golden, but you can also change the color with color overlay or whatever you like. So these are the line art illustration animation. And here are the same ones, but with this pop-up effect. these are the same elements I've used for the wreaths and for the frames, so you can do the same thing as I did with these. No need to stress out. So let's start. Sorry for this long introduction, but I had to show you this. First of all, we will make a background. Let's take some kind of beige tone. Since we have mostly green, it would be cool to have a more neutral color. And then I would start maybe with an already made, or no, let's make a frame by ourselves. So if you want to use a ready animated frame, simply drag and drop it, and that's it, and the rest will follow. But we will make it on our own. So as always, go to Window, Timeline, and click on Create Video Timeline. Don't click on Create Frame Animation, as always. Click here, and here we go. All the animations are 30 seconds long. So let's see where this brings us. And we will start with a frame, with a golden glossy frame. This will be my choice. And as you can see, you cannot see it because some frames rotate at the beginning and some build up. And as you already see, we have like a change of time over here because the animation is 30 seconds long and the background is only like 5 seconds long. Make it smaller and make always sure all your layers are the same length. So now we have the frame, we cannot see it, and here it is. Most of the time I work with like in the middle of the timeline, so I can see what's going on, especially when I use like popping up stuff and so on. So yeah, and then I would add a second frame and overlay the first one. Here, make sure the frame is at the same position as your other layers. Now, let's look at the already made animation. As you all know, Photoshop can be sometimes very slow when trying to preview like animated things. So as you can see, it's really fighting. Here we go. But most of you know this is only the preview, which looks so stuttering. So don't worry, because the rendered video will look super flawless. So here we go. This is our main animation. Yay! And then we will add foliage or foliage. I sometimes mix up like French, English kind of thing. Okay, which one will we choose? Maybe start with a pop-up thingy. What is it? It's eucalyptus. And we will put it over here. And scale it. Maybe somewhere so you have the connection between let me say, the frame and the branch of this eucalyptus. So now press enter, and from there you can move your element to the beginning of your composition. Here we go. Whoa. I'm pretty sure your Photoshop won't be this slow as mine is at the moment, because since I'm doing this tutorial with a screencast recording, my whole Mac is way slower. This is not because of the animation and not so much because of Photoshop, but because I'm running the screencast program in the background. So this is the reason for this crazy slow workflow. So what could we add here? What could we add? Yeah, this looks nice. So drag and drop. Here we go. And add it over here. And again, make sure your layer is at the very beginning, or starts at the very, very beginning. I mean, you don't have to. You could also leave it like over here. Or maybe we should do this, because when the geometric frame builds up, we have this delay in the foliage. So if you do so, like this building up system, then, whoa, this is really slow. Then you will see that these are too long. So simply crop them. To make sure your final video will be not longer than 30 seconds, or at the end you can push this small thing to 30 seconds. So since this takes a bit longer, I will now shut my mouth and simply speed this whole thing a bit up, and then stop and explain what I'm doing afterwards. So the next thing I will do is I will add some of the breath compositions over here in a bigger scale, and over here to have like a frame around this whole thing. Just a quick information, you can see a bit of the leaf from the breath. You have to tell me if I'm saying this wrong, because I simply don't know how to pronounce it. We will stay with breath. So I will mask it out. As you all know, or those of you who don't know, we can use these animation layers as we would use a normal Photoshop layer, so we can mask it out. Click on mask and then simply use the eraser tool with the black color selected and simply remove it so you won't see it anymore. So the next thing I would do is I would add some texture to the background, and for this I will use a watercolor background, for example this one. Drag and drop it. This one has to be definitely at the beginning. Oh, enter, and then you can drag it over here. So now we have this white kind of thing and this beige and everything messed up the color. And if you want to leave it like this, totally fine, you can leave it. But since I want to have the beige background visible, I will change to multiply. And maybe I will copy this. Then with Command T or Edit Free Transform, I can rotate it to 180 degrees, and I will have it on the bottom too. Maybe we could make it a bit lighter and push the opacity a bit down. Here we go. So this could be basically your final Instagram invitation template or base. From here you can also add some of the golden dots to make it more texturized or more loose. Here we go. So, and these have to be at the middle somewhere. So what you can do now is you can stop here, export the video, and then take it as it is, as an Instagram story, and add your text with an app or maybe with Canva if you like. So you can use it as you would use a normal story or something you record with your phone. You can add your text over it, or you can add, I don't know, GIF files, whatever you like. So this exported video is basically the same as you would take in story video with your phone and prepare it from there. But since I want to show you how to make some things in Photoshop, I will show you how to make the Photoshop thing. First of all, I will clean up a bit these layers because I don't like it so messy. And that's it. As I told you, you can simply drag this thing to 30 seconds, or if you want a story of 50 seconds, you can drag it over there, so it's up to you. Here we go. Just make sure this line is completed and nothing disappears after these 30 seconds. So here we go. Now we will add some text. Same situation over here. The text has to be the same length. I will show you how to animate the text in a few minutes. Let's take a bit more elegant font or more handwritten font. Change these to 0, make it bigger, or simply Command T for free transform, and then change the color to white. In this example, you can change it to white, you can change it to every color you like. So let's pretend this is a I don't know, Christmas card, digital Christmas card, we can simply write Happy Xmas. Super easy. Of course, you can add information like, for example, if you have a Christmas party going on and you would like to invite people over this or with this digital invitation, you can also add informations like, for example, let's take something like, I don't know, 2012. What a nice date. So here we go. And maybe change the font to something more simple to make it a bit cleaner on the bottom. Oh, this was too much. And the color, we could pick like something from here. Here we go. Maybe make this a bit smaller. And then we could add like another information like Xmas party at our home, for example. So here we go, we have this information here, and what you could also do is, I wanted to show you, change, for example, if you wanted to be more festive maybe, you could overlay the golden things or whatever part you want with a color. So go to the layer, select the layer, go to FX, color overlay, and now you can already see my blend mode is set to color, and you can see the sparkle gold behind the color. So if I would like to change it to red, or maybe a darker red, something like this, and maybe take another blending mode like multiply or soft light maybe. Oh, what could we do? Screen? This is, no, this is not. Let me see. Multiply. Yeah, this looks right. So you could add some kind of red color over it, or maybe green. Just simply play a bit with these settings here. Or of course you could make it silver with gray overlay in the color, or if you want to have it white, of course you can change it to normal blend mode, and then you have a white color overlay. And the cool thing is the animation still works. So you could, if this would be an Xmas or Christmas digital invitation, you could set this whole thing up to the colors you decorated your home or the party or whatever you like. So you can also change, of course, every element like you would do with a normal layer. So maybe we could change the lightness, then click on the levels or whatever you prefer, and then hold out and make a clipping mask. Some of you might know this from Procreate. So this layer above, the graphs layer, affects only this clipped layer. And then you can drag the lightness down to give it more depth or a more festive look, if you like. So yeah, we will remove this for now and simply leave it as it is. And now we will export our, oh no, forget. I wanted to show you how to animate the font. Just forgot it, sorry for this. So you don't have too much of opportunities inside Photoshop to animate the font, but you could, as I said before, use this video clip in Canva or in other story applications where you could put text on top, or you could do this in Photoshop. And let's make this happy Xmas appear. Oh no, let's make this Xmas party and the date appear later. So we drop, we drag this small arrow down, and then you have these things like transform, opacity, style, and text warp. What we will do now, we will change the opacity to 0 of both. We change it here, and we make a keyframe here. So now the timeline knows at this point the opacity is 0. Then we will go over here, and maybe we will start this whole appearing or visibility of the date and the party invitation at about 5 seconds. So we will click again on opacity to make sure Photoshop knows that our layers are at 0 opacity, and then let's maybe go to like something around 7 seconds, because we just made a keyframe at 5 seconds, and now we will go to 7 seconds. And now we will change the opacity of both to 100. Here we go. So now we have like a mini animation in the text. And when you go over it, you will see it appears slightly in 3 or 2 seconds. So now we will export the video. Go to File, Export, Render Video. Make sure you have document size selected for Instagram story if you want to create an Instagram story, and all the other settings are the same as always. So select a folder and then simply click on Render. As you all know, this will take a while because, as I always say, Photoshop is not an animated or not an animation program, so it takes a bit longer. So that's basically it. I'm sorry for my Photoshop being so slow, but if you want to see more tutorials, you can watch all of the tutorials on YouTube on my or our YouTube channel, because mostly all the tutorials are basically the same, since we always work with the same kind of elements and just make different compositions with it. So you maybe just take a look at the other tutorials to get some more inspirations how you could work with the elements in another way, or just for fun. So I hope you enjoyed this small, very long tutorial, I guess. I think this was longer than the normal tutorials because my Photoshop is so slow today. And yeah, you can use the files also, of course, in Premiere Pro. So if you want a bit faster yeah, video tool besides Photoshop, simply use Premiere Pro. Or if you can use the files also in After Effects. And yeah, this is it. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have questions left, please feel free to ask. Wishing you a lovely, lovely week, and see you next